Ah, bonjour, comment ça va? Très bien? Of course. A little coffee mix in the morning, straighten out the mustache. Oh, good, looking good. Good morning, everybody. I know this is not real coffee, but it sure wakes you up nicely, that's for sure, quickly. Everything looked like it came out real well. I just got into the kitchen. I put once again, I didn't show, I took out the pâtés yesterday while we're cooking. They took 25 minutes, just FYI. Cooking times change no matter what. So many, how much water, how little water, how big the terrines, how small the terrines. So many, what we call variabilities. Variabilities mean so many things that can change. If somebody opens and closes the door, how many you put in there. Because these things are little ice bricks when you put them in the oven. So they really do cool down the oven a lot. I only put 2 in. But I think if I did it like a full batch, about 20, that's, depending on the size of the hotel, but usually that's what we usually did, 15 to 20 terrines. It could cool down the oven and increase cooking time up to 30 more minutes. So if I put that in there, it could take almost an hour. Slower the better. That's another point too. And the only way you really could tell is checking the temperature. Now you could do it by touch. The chef who showed me how to make pâtés, outside of school that is, because school showed me first how to make pâtés. And I think I told you guys the stories that I was working in Dallas, and the French chef came up to me, he goes, "Can you make pâtés?" And the only place I made pâtés was in school. And this was probably about, I don't know, maybe 5 years or 7 years after school. And I go, yeah, I go, I think I could do it. I go, I'm gonna need plenty of ice. And he smiled. He goes, c'est bon. Because it is a key point, ice. To make good pâtés, sausages, any kind of charcuterie should always be kept really cold, not just for sanitation purposes, but the fat itself. If the fat gets warm, it kind of separates. I think you've seen it like with, well, if you get butter too hot, you get the solids go one way and the ghee go the other way. So you want, once again, everything smooth and blended. End up cleaning the dyes, and I'm going to put them away. You got a brand new cloth, all right? Once again, sanitation is very important that way. Now I put it in the freezer when I'm done. Lightly oil. These things will rust. These will rust really, really quick. And if they do, you throw them out. There's nothing you can do with them. And they are fairly expensive. They are fairly expensive. Sometimes they do get warped. Ours are getting a little. These are really old. These I found these here when I got here, so these are really old. But they still work. They're not as good as new, but they still work. Okay, okay. You can see that from there. Let me just turn this sideways. Tilt you down a little. Because this is actually kind of a key point. The places I worked, though, the chef used to have a little nail in his office. You wash it, oil it, put it on there so you could see if it's missing or not. School, you don't have that luxury, and in a lot of places you don't. You put it on a clean cloth, fold it over again. Then you put the next 2 on there. The metal can't touch. If the metal touches, it will become one piece. In a matter of weeks, you'll never separate it. So you have to separate it with cloth. Fold it, fold it, fold it. Nice, kept safely. I have a nice bucket. I put everything in over here. You can't really see. Over there, it doesn't matter. Is the rest of the parts. You can see all clean, dry, very clean, hot water clean. That's another thing. I put it through the dishwasher several times besides using the scrub brush. Hot soap and water, because there's a lot of little areas in it. And before you use it, before you use it again, I really suggest washing it well and then icing it down. But let's get to what we were talking about. Today is the unveiling. And I found this. Right, this is almost a tree. I just washed it. This is almost a tree. If we had a top for this, this would be perfect. But you could cook without a top. It might brown, well, it will brown, but that's where like aluminum foil comes in. Aluminum foil has a drawback too, because aluminum foil, if you leave this on longer than a day, the aluminum itself will start dissolving. It will start falling apart and actually ruin your pate. So that's why they have terrines with molds. This you could call it a terrine. This is a terrine, and we're going to take the terrine and turn it into a pate. How do you do that? Well, let me show you. This one bubbled over a little, which is normal. Once again, that kind of happens. Oh yeah. As you can see, I remember I had the tape. I said, would that be a problem? Nah, not really. This stuff's expensive. If you've been in my class, I'm pretty salty, so that's why I use this piece, and I didn't think it'd be a problem. It wouldn't. And look what we got. Right, this is the bottom of it. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to run it on the stove for, well, I'm about to show you. I can swing it over this way. Safely, I hope. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to cook it. I'm going to just gently run it over the heat so you can see it. So it will what you call release. So it will drop out without me having to pull it out. Just lightly. Especially these aluminum pans. They heat up real quick. So that's it. I didn't need even to show you, but I guess it's good that I did show you. Swing you down here. And take it and pop it out, and c'est bon. Very nice. Now this jelly, which is most delicious, is aspic. Now a lot of times you guys you go in the cooking contest and you coat everything with gelatin, which is horrible, horrible. The best thing to do is make aspic, and aspic can be made several ways. What we used to do is take consomme, reduce consomme you know how to make consomme, make a stock, and we used to use chicken, make a chicken stock, make it as clear as possible too. Let it cool, make a consomme, egg whites, and some more chicken, and mirepoix, and make a consomme, slow cooking raft. Hopefully you guys know that. Jeez, I wonder. You should. But anyway, after you make the consomme, you strain it off through nice chinois or like cheesecloth, very, very clean. And then you reduce it down, and you come up with this jelly. And like I said, this is what you should be coating your show food with, because it has a lot of flavor. It has a color to it. The gelatin thing is just such a cheap shortcut. I just really don't like that. So now a phone call. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm sorry. The phone call. I have a 10 o'clock meeting today, so I gotta let me get going. That's okay. We talked about aspic. Here, what fell off while talking was the fat, which is fine. You don't really want to. You can serve it with a little fat on the side. I wouldn't not necessarily clean off this. I wouldn't really necessarily clean off. Generally, cut off the ends. Now this fits flat, so that's fine. This is a garnish. These bay leaves are still hard. You can't really eat them. They can come off and still have a very nice looking product there. It depends how it's served. Obviously, a buffet line, you would serve it like this. Items that you would serve it with would be like mustard or a mayonnaise type of thing. But I saw this too. This is like apple jelly. Apple jelly is actually would be very nice with pate, because you have the savory, salty, and then the sweet. So nothing wrong with that. Some fresh fruit would be good. Let's cut open this bad boy. Let's see what we got. Now, generally, you would, if you did like pâtés all the time, so you use a slicer. A slicer is a type of knife that's very long, thin, and very, very sharp. Okay, we got a little parsley on ice, just for quick garnishing. I'm gonna make a bed out of it. When cutting too, you don't really push, you kind of saw through. Why? Because the garnish. Oh yeah, that's very nice. Now, if you look at the pictures, there'll go a few air holes in there. Air holes you really don't want, but they do happen. Hopefully the walnuts are soft enough. They should be. The capers would have made a good garnish. Cranberries, something red. You could put piement in there, but once again, this is pâté de champignon, which is really basically like this. And 1, 2, 3. Fill it in a bit. So you have nice. Bird's nest of parsley. I would never necessarily put sauce on top of. I wouldn't really put sauce on top of it. I would put either sauce on the side, a different plate, a ramekin on the side, that type of thing. Once again, with pâtés, let's taste this. Take a little piece. Wow. The walnuts and brandy, very nice flavor. No liver in this one. That's the first time I've done it without liver. It's actually kind of good. I think a Frenchman would not approve of no liver, because it's kind of important to have that flavor. See the second one crowned. So you would want to cut that off if you're going to flip it over. Let me flip it over in here, because you could do this. And then you could do this. And ready to go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I got a piece on there. A delicatessen? Sure. In the window? Absolutely. Selling it by the slice or by the kilo? Sure. Even on a piece of baguette. No, oh, you know what this really tastes like? Very close to the Vietnamese style pâtés in the sandwiches, what, mi bang? I forget what the sandwich is called. It has a very similar taste to that. Probably because of the absence of pork liver. Pork liver is actually very important in that style of pâté. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Okay, that's a wrap. See you guys hopefully next week, and then we have to talk about mid-test. That's part of the meeting today is mid-test. I think your mid-test is going to be notebooks on all the videos, recipes, all that other stuff. That's all I can really think of right now. But I'll tell you when we get to it. Okay, anything else? That's it. Nice pâté. We get together, we're going to do the galantine, absolutely do that first. The second thing will be the pâté. Absolutely, we'll get to at least to those two things. I think you'd be very pleased with this. This is actually very nice. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.